All right, we're back for our third match. Two more Chicagoans. Jeff Mohl, who just broke the balls, and Ed Latimer, a perennial league champion here at Red Shoes. Ed has also won a seniors division at Allen Hopkins Super Billiards Expo. Very experienced player, plays a nice methodical game. Jeff Mohl, retired insurance broker. Doesn't do anything quickly in life. He didn't get married till he was 38, and he's held his own agency for many years. Finally sold it for cash, which makes for a nice liquid retirement. Plays a lot of pool, was part of the year in Florida. Enjoying life, great disposition. Of course, it's frequently said of heavy set players, they have to be jolly. Can't fight and they can't run. And first shot. Looks like Ed didn't hit the ball he was aiming at. That was really a half-hearted attempt. But Jeff Mohl comes to the table with half the rack open. Jeff is a graduate of Bradley University. Probably will begin with the 6-ball. Incidentally, we were told that during the last match, the reason Tom Karabatsis was not penalized for 3 consecutive fouls was that his opponent failed to warn him that he had the first 2, and he had forgotten about it himself. Though that rule was announced to the players before play began, Jeff Mohl opens the balls a little bit further with the 6. See what he chooses to open the remaining clustered balls. He has the 1 ball here, but it'll be hard to reach. Gonna go for the bridge. I think Jeff would like to have stopped for the 8-ball there, but he's okay because he's almost straight in on the 5. Can still use the 4-ball to break the cluster with. And the ball's well broken that time. You can see he didn't try to overpower anything. All you really have to do is get the balls separated and the cue ball in the clear. It doesn't take yucca flats to blast the ball open. Notice that once the 8-ball is gone, the 9, 10, and 12 all go in the lower left-hand corner. It demonstrates the importance of opening up the corner pockets when you play this game. I'm surprised he didn't stay there for the 8 that time. Probably play position either for the 10 or the 14-8 combination. 2-rail position here. A little bit of spin. Get up there, buddy. Just barely made where he wants to go. And he can't hit the pack from here. He's going to have to send the cue, either draw the cue ball or go around the table with it. But he cannot use this ball to further separate the balls. It shows draw. See how the 7 and the 8-ball block the corner pockets from the 11 and the 12? That's why you have to get the corner pockets open early in your sequence. Got half the rack left and he still has problems. You like to see problems solved before you get to halfway through the rack. Well, he's still alive here, but now he's got another problem to solve.
American cheese.
13-12 could be made if he needs it to. He's going to have to take his break shot off the table here, though. Nope. That ball spun wickedly. Not why he missed, but that object ball appeared to have sideways spin on it, and that usually occurs when you don't hit the cue ball where you're planning to. opening run of 3, 5, 8 balls to Jeff Mohl. Might have just enough angle on this 11 ball to separate the 7 and 8. But again, we're late in the rack and problems are still being solved. 9 ball should have come off the rack, off the table much earlier than this. Latimer opens the balls. Doesn't leave himself particularly advantageously. I believe that is another retiree, grandfather many times over. Nice man. That's a miss. So Jeff Mohl opens up with 8. Ed Latimer responds with, excuse me, Ed Latimer responds with 2. 5 balls left on the table. No apparent break shot here. Loosely played rack on behalf of both players. Couldn't quite sneak by the 13 there. Not sure what he had in mind there. Didn't leave himself any real shots. He'd have had a long shot on the 12 ball, very best, even if the 9 ball had gone that time. Latimer has very little here except that same long shot, or he can bank the 13 if he prefers. He may play this ball safe. No, that's what he did. Very heady play by Ed Latimer. Got a mess, you might as well leave it for the next guy. Best Jeff can do here is that long shot on the 13. He's not even going to try it. He's going to play safety off the 9. Finely grazed hit. Probably the right response. Latimer has no ready return safety and really only the long shot on the 13 if he wants it. Looks like he's going to go for it. Good to see you. How's that for shooting from a grandfather? Like he can get 2-rail position on the 7 here and bump the 8 out. I don't know how he's going to get position on the ball near the side rail, though. It looks like he's going to save that ball for his break. Or he could save one of these 2 balls. It looks like that's what he's going to do. Play the 12 withdraw and come back for the 7. That sounded like a miscue. Probably exactly what it was. Jeff Mohl chooses discretion. I think he has the cue ball in hand, although there's no ready break shot here. So the first rack ends 9-5. So at this point, Jeff Mohl gets cue ball in hand behind the string since the object ball is out ahead of it. There's a very, very loose break shot here if he wants to play it real hard with a lot of follow. But it's all low probability, but it's really all he has. This will get the cue ball to the side of the stack. Whether it comes off or not is what we'll have to wait and see. Well, he went toward the center instead. Got him loose. That probably would have worked out better.
The left side corner ball.
The left side corner ball would have worked out better because it acts as the apex of the triangle. When going to the two top balls at the angle he chose means he has an awful lot of mass to move. I don't think there's a combination shot on this too, so he's probably just going to pin the eight for safety. Send the cue ball back towards the middle of the table so that the masked balls hide the two ball. That's too delicate. Now that combination shot is a very real possibility.
The trick to that shot, where you're going to get some distance with the cue ball, but no distance with the 8. You're not going to move the 8 very much, but you're going to send the cue ball all the way down to the end rail, is you to use a very light, loose stroke. Okay, don't squeeze the stick, very loose.
Well, the end of the table wouldn't have done him any good because the two ball would be exposed. But to get it higher up with balls loose and not available to the cue ball, what you say would have worked. But he choked it off. He left the combination off either the 8 or the 15. 14 will act as a break ball. Latimer can make some hay here. Little surprised to see that. If he left himself the 12, he got away with it. Probably have to play position for the 1. All right, he's going for the center of the table. Play the 10 next. If he's not too straight in, he'll play position for the 6 or 14 balls. Appears to be more straight in than he'd like. So it's going to be the 14 and then the 6. Oh, 7 ball landed in one of the stinkier places a ball can go. Can't quite make it in either corner and it won't go in the side, so we'll see how he negotiates. He can make it in the far corner, but it's not a shot any player's going to see. Also, he's going to have to either manufacture a break shot or get the 1 out from behind the 4. May be able to draw back and bring the 7 off the rail off this 3 ball. Well, I don't know what he wanted to accomplish with that one. Now he has to play the 2. It's one of your classier overcuts when you don't hit the ball at all on the way in. So a foul for Mr. Latimer. And that brings his count to 13. 13-10 as Jeff Mohl comes to the table. Cue ball in hand. Now with cue ball in hand, actually not a bad time to try the 7, but he's going to start with a 4.
Donations.
Every day, man.
Every day about this time, I take my little nap.
Yeah, I sundown myself, usually between 1:30 and 2:30. I'm late. Jeff is probably going to have to come up underneath this 7 ball.
Worst players.
Yeah. Look out. Just made it. Just made it, and he landed right where he can get his stop angle for the break shot as well. All right. Looks like that rack went 8-6, so we've got a score of 15-13. Players are still adjusting to racking the balls at the wrong end of the table, but they need that space for the video feed. Apparently the score has been adjusted, 13 balls each. Jeff Mohl with a break shot. Well, he barely skimmed the stack, so only the corner ball came out. Pool players are constantly befuddled as to why that happens, but it happens when you get an online hit on the first ball, so that the energy is only transferred down that one line and only one ball comes out. That's the correct shot to play. Normally the move here would be to come in behind the stack for either a foul or a safety, but because of where the 8 ball was left, Ed can't do that. Probably going to have to skim the 7 and hope to leave a long shot. Maybe he'll go into the top of the stack, try and stick the cue ball there. Looks like that's what he's trying to do. No, he had room to graze the 8. And so Jeff Mohl does too. Just looking to see if that 5 ball, looks like the 5 ball will go, and as it carry him off to 12, I don't think it will. But he's wise to look at it, though, because sometimes the difference between a ball that will go and a ball that won't is near infinitesimal. You know, Jeff plays the safety into the head of the stack. You've got to be careful you don't leave a dead one on the corner ball here. There's not much you can do about it. If you do, it's just pretty much the luck of the draw. If he got away with it, that's a very good safety. Latimer will probably try to send this ball off the rail and back into the stack if he has room to do so. Can't leave it on the end rail, on the side rail, because the 12 ball is open. And as called, from the cue ball back into the stack. And played well enough that Jeff does not have the luxury of returning that shot. This will be a difficult safety. Balls are open and there's hardly any place to hide the cue ball. Just going to try and stick the cue ball right there. Bought a ball to the rail. That's too hard. Much too hard. The 7 and 13 near the lower left-hand pocket are troublesome as they lie. You need a very small window for position on the 13 ball. You would hope to come down and move those balls. Just missed them, but he's still alive. Now, because he has a broader angle than he'd like on the 8 ball, he can't play position for the 12 anymore. Probably going to try and hit the 12 coming off the 8. Just missed it. Now he has to deal with those troublesome 2 balls down near the bottom left-hand corner. And the combination shot does indeed give him some trouble. So, 3 balls from this rack. Jeff made the break shot and Ed made 2. Jeff will play position, undoubtedly play position for the 2 ball here. With the stripe acting as an insurance ball or safety valve. If he wanted, he could play that ball on the side now with position for the 2. But he's probably going to shoot the 2 now. Nice speed that time. Nice speed that time. He didn't try to overpower anything. That's why he had success. Still a little bit of work to be done, but the cue ball's in the clear and balls are open, and generally be happy with that. Needs to play position for either the 4 or 12 balls here to open up the 1 and 6. A lot of players would like to leave this ball he's shooting now in place as a key ball. Jeff didn't feel comfortable doing that, so break shot position will have to come up another way. Looks like he may use the 3 ball as a break shot here to open up the remaining clustered 6. Actually, it's the 5 ball that's going to do most of the damage here. But he hit the shot rather badly, sent it to the far opposite end of the table. That's what's known as an egregious miss. You don't even get the pocket jaws. You really missed the ball badly. Ed's going to have to begin with the 14.
Play 9 ball in the middle of a straight pool game.
Still not without a way to open up those 3 balls in the middle of the table. Might be able to do it with draw here. He's going to go up the table. In fact, he plays the 6 now. That'll move the 1 away from the 5, but he still needs a break shot here. And he went up the table with it. So that 3 ball is going to stay up there longer than most players would like to leave it. In fact, he's probably going to leave it for last. Bunt the 1 ball out for a break shot here. And 3 ball is your key ball. It's not a particularly good one, because now he has to control the speed of the cue ball, the ball he strikes, and the secondary ball he strikes in order to be successful with this shot and have a decent shot on the 3. Well, he didn't get the 1 ball out. No real break shot here. He'll cut the 1 into his left, our right, and see what kind of angle he winds up with on the 3. Overcut. He didn't really get break shot position on the 3 anyway, but of course, that's not where he would have been had he made the 1. Can't tell if Jeff has enough angle to work with here to get his cue ball down table or not. Apparently he does. The 1 ball is not a very good break shot in any case. It's too far to the right to contact the corner ball with any real force. Not going to matter now, unless the cue ball winds up in the rack. The shot will be almost impossible to reach, even if the cue ball's not in the rack. But the shot's going to be very, very difficult for him to reach. Probably going to require 2 bridges. I don't think the late Manute Bol could reach this shot. And he was 7'7". Jeff is less. He's not even going to try. He's going to play a safety off the corner ball. You have to be careful not to leave a dead shot when you play this, because you're moving the opposite corner ball very slightly. He's going to play the shot where you just stick the cue ball there. That's good. You stick on the ball next to the corner ball. That safety is in my book for those, any of you interested. Advanced Pool, it's still out there. You can get it through Amazon. You want to, that safety you just played, you want to hit the corner ball and part of the ball next to it to stick there successfully. It's going to have to come over the top here. This is not going to be easy without fouling. And he just drives it out for an elementary safety. I don't think the 9 goes at the side. But the 9 is available for another elementary safety, and he can just leave the cue ball stuck on the 2 and 13. And that's exactly what he did. Frozen on those 2 balls would be even better, because then he would create an angle where Ed would be in danger of scratching in either direction, but he's got some space to work with. It just thins the stack. Back down to the bottom rail and dare your opponent to shoot something. He does have a decent shot at the 7 and the 7. Probably going to try it. No, it looks like he's not. Another safety into the stack for Jeff Mohl. Nicely done. Now, as you'd expect, eventually the player will run out of behind the rack bunts like these because all the balls he would use will have been distributed elsewhere. But at the moment, Ed Latimer has a problem. There's hardly anywhere to go where he doesn't leave an open shot. He looks like he's going to take a deliberate foul. Not a very good one. He may have left the 2-ball. And if he did, Jeff Mohl will be off and winging because half the rack is in the open. He didn't make it. Oh, it fell in. Once again, correct speed. Did not look like he made that ball, but it fell in off the left-hand jaw because it was struck at the correct speed. Now, playing the game correctly, the 3 and 9 should come off early here. They're of no use to getting to the next rack. Might as well get them off and be done with it. Jeff will probably play position for the 8-ball here. Nope. Wrong again. He's going to go for the 5. The 8-ball would have been a good ball to use. It breaks up the 3 balls in the center and it saves the 10 as an insurance ball. But he still has time to get to the clustered balls. I'd like to see the clusters being opened as early in the sequence as possible. Whoa. Okay. One goes. Look, you're probably going to shoot the ball on the side first, and then the ball inside the 5 or the 8 will be his break shot. Ease this ball in very gently. That's all it takes. And the 8-ball remains the ball to shoot as a break shot for the reasons stated. You can go right into the 13 and 6 and have the 10-ball for next. Or maybe even the 11 in the side for next. And exactly as called. And now he can use the 10 to move the 11 away from the 4. "13 is blocking the corner pocket from the 12, so that's got to come off, and he's got to be careful not to run into the 6. Okay. 11 and 4 balls remain problems unless he can get the cue ball to the other side. Then he could play them in the lower left-hand corner. He's probably going to play position on the 10, which he didn't deserve. And he's going to use draw to move the 11 a little bit, and then he has the 3-ball, those 3 balls, the 5, 12, and 14 as insurance balls. Not sure why he did that, unless he plans to find a place to make the 11 cleanly. He could play the 12 softly and save the 14 to open up the 11-4, and then the 5 would be his break shot. He could play the 14 and go to the other side of those balls, as I just suggested. And then either would be playable in the lower left-hand corner. Looks like that's what he's going to do. I'd have preferred to see him go 1 rail to 2 there. But he's still going. 1 rail gets you a little closer to the object balls than he is now. A little more controllable angle. He'd like to play the 11 and the 4 in the same pocket here. Now it looks like he's going to play the 12 and then either the 5 or the 4. But again, now he has 3 break shots confronting him. And we'll see how it works out for position here. now he has his choice of which break shot to play for two-rail position for the other. Not a bad sequence. You'd like to have something a little simpler for your last ball. Just barely made that one and went a little farther than he'd like with the cue ball. Had he made that ball a little more cleanly, the cue ball would be a little farther up the table, but he'd have a little better angle on the floor. Score, once adjusted, looks like it will be 34-19 for Jeff Mohl. And that's what we have, 34-19. Jeff with a decent but not great break shot. He needs to draw the cue ball here. Wouldn't look for more than 4 or 5 balls to come open, if that many. We get 7 balls out. Unless the 9 passes the 15 and 13, the only really open ball is the 3, but that's enough to continue with. Probably go 3, 10, 6 in that order. Well, the break shot is available here off the 10. It's not a very good one. We've been saying all day, coming off the rail to break the balls is not a particularly attractive option. Too many variables. He's going to try and open that stack with that shot. And he only got 1 ball to move out of there. And now, well, he's got a billiard he could play on the 15-13, but other than that, he really doesn't have much to shoot at all. If he wants to take a chance with that billiard I just mentioned, he'll be driving the 15 to the end rail and then into the stacked balls for what that's worth. But it's a dangerous, low probability shot. He'll most likely choose a safety off the 13 ball. I'd like to have the 13 a little closer to the end rail to try that billiard shot. He's one of my favorite players. Looks like he's going to play the shot I called. Billiard off the 15 into the 13. And just as called, the 15 broke the balls up. Very nicely done. Not sure if the 6 passes the 8 here, but there wouldn't appear to be any other problems on the table. Not much of a problem anyway to take the 8 ball first.
Could you use Ron Shepard as your sidekick for a while?
If he likes, sure.
Yeah, do you know Ron Shepard?
George Fells. Nice to meet you. Ron Shepard joining us behind the microphone. Jump in here, Ron. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Hi, George. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
I'm one of the local pool players. I think I'm mostly a 9-ball player, but I've been playing in one of the straight pool leagues now for the last 2 years. So I know Jeff and Ed from the pool league, so I get to play with these guys.
That's the Illinois Billiard Club League?
Yeah, the IBC.
I'd need my own personal helicopter to hang at the IBC. It just seems like that road out there keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
And there goes the 8 ball as prophesied. Jeff will probably save the 6 for last before the 11, although we can't be absolutely certain. He's going to go up the left side of the table, take those balls in order after this one.
What is the score right now?
We were at 34 to, looks like 19 when the rack began.
Okay.
And Jeff has run 9 so far. Looks like he's taking his break shot off here unless he's going for the 6, and I can't tell. He's probably going to, it means he's going to save the 1. So it'll be 11, 6, 12, 7, 15 unless I miss my guess.
So he took that 11 ball. I thought that might have been a good break shot.
For a right-handed player, it would be preferable to the 1 because it's easier
Yeah.
to reach. Okay, and you notice that was a nice compact stroke that time. You don't have to murder that ball. It weighs what a baseball does. The cue weighs half what a bat does, and you don't have any farther to move it than 9 or 10 feet.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be killing these balls.
Both these guys have really good technique, really good strokes. So they get a lot of cue ball action with not much speed.
Their play is more methodical than what we've seen in our previous matches. Jeff's going to have to draw back about a foot here to get a decent angle on the 7. That's not quite enough.
You probably
Yeah.
wanted the 7 first.
In order to get the cue ball away from the rail here, you really have to drill the 7, and that means you
Yeah.
ask the pocket jaws for a favor. Got to get the cue ball away from the rail here. Indeed, Jeff missed that shot badly, thinking about the same thing I was just describing.
Yep.
So Ed Latimer has a little simple draw shot here on the 7 for a break shot position on the 1. If he wanted to, he could play the 1 and get a side pocket break shot off the 7, but I don't think he will. So Jeff ran 13, and that took him to 46. 46 to 19 as Ed Latimer comes to the table.
There's an extra bead on that scorekeeper
Is there? I didn't
string
know
up
that.
there.
I'm glad to see him using those beads. The first match we did here, we had no idea
Yeah.
what the score was until somebody told us.
Yeah, the players who play in this room a lot always put a couple of extra points at the very beginning in order to compensate for that extra one at the end.
Both sides are short a point, or just,
No, just
the black side?
Yeah, the black side.
Okay, it looks like we've got a score of 47 to 20 as far as I can tell. Played 5 racks, there are 3 fouls.
Well, this looks like a good angle for Ed, and it's the cue ball's high enough so he doesn't have to stretch.
It's a good angle, and the cue ball will contact the corner ball, the 7, which is always good.
Yeah.
Got fresh air on one side, and that means it's easy to get the cue ball loose.
So do you hit this with draw to try and draw the cue ball back to the middle of the table?
Yeah, that's a
or
very good
with,
question.
With
And
follow?
what most players believe is if the cue ball is nearer the side rail than the object ball, you use follow, and if the reverse is true, you use draw.
Okay.
Looks like Ed is about to break the rule.
He
hit it
used follow.
He used it halfway, actually.
Yeah.
He should have had a better break than this, but balls are open and he can continue. If the cue ball object line is parallel to the side rail, most players favor using draw.
The draw.
And we'll play the 5 here, and the 3 ball will go into those mass balls and open up a few more shots. Nicely played.
Looks like he might be jacked up a little bit over the 14.
He's not going
if
to
he-
worry about it. He's going to play it.
Ah, okay.
I don't see any ready way of breaking up those 5 balls in the center, but he's got time to figure it out. 6 ball lies a little bit too low. 9-7 is a perfectly makeable combination, but that won't help him break the balls.
Maybe he can get to the foot rail off the 6 ball and then shoot the 4 in the other corner.
Not the best break shot. He may try to come off the rail here and break the balls. Or he could try drawing into them from here. He's not going to do either one.
He didn't do either one.
That's probably the best option right there. Is play position for the 8 in the side, and that'll be the break shot. Go to the, make the 3, the cue ball goes to the top rail and comes back out again. I'm surprised he did that. There aren't many options available at the 12 because it's dead straight in. You can play the 12 and then the 8, but that only leaves him that combination shot, and that's no way to break the ball. He's going to try and draw this ball back. And he missed it badly.
I would say that's an uncharacteristic miss for Ed.
Yes, it was.
He's
straight in, and he didn't even get the pocket jaw.
Yeah.
Interested to see how Jeff goes about breaking up the 5 balls in the center here. 4 ball is not an attractive proposition. It's down lower than the 10. There's barely room to fit your cue ball in there.
Yeah, I was wondering.
He'll start with the 8, but I don't know what he's going to do after that.
So would these guys be looking at a carom shot off that, was it the 12 ball into the 4?
If you can't get the cue ball to the 4 cleanly,
Yeah.
there might be a carom in there, but it's, again, low probability.
Yeah, that's a risky shot.
He may be able to finesse this combination so as to leave himself a break angle on the 9.
Yeah, yeah. So you can kind of stop the 9 ball and then pull back a little bit.
Well, when you draw the cue ball, the ball you hit goes forward.
Yeah.
I was thinking he'd be inside the 9 there.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
This isn't too bad if he can come across and hit the, looks like the 11 ball near the top of that cluster there. That will open up the balls and keep the cue ball free. If he goes into the 12 ball, I guess, or the 15, excuse me, then the results are less predictable. He didn't do either one.
He didn't, yeah.
Looks like he can barely get the cue ball to the 4 now.
So he must have a spot at that 4 ball to shoot at.
He thinks it's makeable, and it may be that it doesn't lay real well to break up the rest.
Yeah.
The most I see him doing here is moving the 13, but we'll see. Well, he did. He clipped the 10 ball.
Yeah, clipped the 10 ball.
But he didn't get anything open. Still has to shoot the ball up table. And even when he does, he doesn't have a particularly attractive angle to get position on the 11, which is the ball he needs to open the remaining balls up. His next shot will undoubtedly be the 15. And he can use this to come across the table and get position on either the 11 or 13 balls.
So he's trying to get just a little bit to the right of the center of the table?
Anywhere on the right-hand half of the table will be fine because the 11 and 13 are both available from there.
Yeah.
And if he can nudge the 2 without moving the 10, then he'll have a break shot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like he's going to have to move all 4 balls. Because he went a little too far. Cue ball's going to go into the 10, and all the remaining balls should be moved. Worked out just fine.
And he's got a break shot.
Worked out just fine. He sent the 2 ball to the rail and back. It's a little bit of luck, but that doesn't hurt. Nothing illegal about it. I don't think he played the shot quite that precisely, but it worked out okay.
Yeah, when I play these guys in the league, they do get lucky an awful lot.
Well, these tables are pretty different from the tables at the IBC.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, John has these tables rolling in a really good condition right now. The new cloth.
These tables play well. Jeff would have liked a little more angle on this ball, either side, so he could do something with the cue ball. He's very close to straight here. And as a result, he doesn't get a real good straight pool angle. He did run the rack, and that brings his score to 61. To Ed Latimer's 15 or 16.
Ed might have 25 here. There's 5 more beads.
Yeah, I see the beads.
Okay. So does he play for a break shot here, or
I don't think so.
just pocket the 2 and play a safety?
Pocket the 2 or call a safety on the 2. Jeff has 56 and Ed has 25. There is a break shot here available with left-hand spin off the side rail, but there's so many variables to the shot that I wouldn't play it.
Yeah.
Too risky.
Well, he went for it.
Well, and didn't get rewarded.
Yeah.
Now that ball he knocked out is too close to being dead to leave it for his opponent. He's probably going to go to the end rail, the bottom rail here, and back up into the stack.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly going to look at it before he decides where to leave that cue ball.
Well, you know, if that outside ball is as close to dead as it looks like from here, he's not going to go down the table, and if he doesn't think it can be made, he probably will.
Yeah.
The trick in playing a shot like this is to not move any balls, because it doesn't take much movement to make an unplayable shot into one you can't miss.
Yeah.
He may even have done that by moving the 13 over. He may have altered the path of the ball next to the 12. I don't think he did. Latimer will probably play a safety off that corner ball sticking out there. And that's what he did, and he sent the ball into the drink. He got lucky that cue ball went behind the line there, so it cannot be played. Jeff has nothing. Only safety Jeff has here is to come in behind the stack. It works out into a foul, no problem, because his opponent has the first foul.
He's going to.
I think he's going to do exactly what I said he would. Doesn't dare do a safety into the top of the stack because he doesn't want his opponent shooting that 15.
Yeah. Take the intentional.
Take the intentional. Would have been a little better if he'd driven 2 or 3 balls out.
Yeah, a little more aggressive.
You know, make it more difficult for his opponent to play safe. As it is now, he only has to guard against the ball way up table, that 15 ball. If Jeff had hit that hard enough to send 2 or 3 balls out from the stack for break shots, safety would be a different proposition. Jeff will do something from behind the stack here and lead the cue ball in the bottom row of balls. Okay. I don't know if that corner ball goes to the side or not. It may. And if it does, then that was very careless play. He's aiming it as though it goes. Sure about that. Either you're going to play the ball, you might as well get position with
Yeah,
it.
maybe he was expecting a little more cue ball movement.
Play another safety. It's okay too. Again, Should have left balls out on the right side. This is answerable by sending the cue ball to the bottom rail.
Yeah, we the 3 roll a little bit too far.
A little bit. You'd like to
back
leave
into
it
the
out where
stack.
it would be open.
Yeah.
There's one more reason, one more thing to think about when you're playing defense. Jeff can go off the 8 ball and back into the stack if he likes, or he can just come down here underneath the 4. Looks like he's going to try and leave the cue ball right where it is now. And that's risky because the 5 ball could be made makeable. That's what he's looking at right now. My choice, it's hard to reach, but I'd come up here, use the bridge, and skim the 5 and leave the cue ball on the bottom rail. Dare him to shoot the 10 or 15 balls, and even if he makes them, he doesn't have much. Looks like that's what he's going to do. There we go. 5 balls makeable on the side, but it's no bargain.
Yeah, left the 5 out.
If he makes it, he gets the 4 for a break shot. That's the advantage of the shot, and the disadvantage is it's a pressure shot. He played it up in the corner and missed it by 2 diamonds. It was casual, but at the same time, hasn't left a whole bunch. Jeff could make the 15 and play for the 10 on the side, but it's no bargain. He's over a ball to begin with. It was a very casual safety Latimer played there.
I assumed he was going for that shot. I couldn't tell.
I think so too, but he missed it so badly between the corner and side pockets, it's hard to tell what he was doing. I think he was playing it in the corner. This would have been a better shot if he left himself an angle for the side than the corner.
Maybe a little bit.
He can still cut it in the side if he wants. Tricky shot.
That's even.
Cue ball will go to the rail. It will go into the stack, though. That's what he's going to do.
Yep. He's playing for the breakout here.
Nicely done. Very nice.
Not too much speed.
No, there's still work to be done, but at least with the speed at the which he hit it, he was able to control the cue ball.
Yeah.
Use the 7 ball to break up those 3 clustered balls to the center left. And he'll have the 12 or 8 balls
as the 8
next
ball
as insurance shot.
As a backup.
Raspberry seed in his wisdom tooth here is that 5 ball, which doesn't make any sense and can't help you in any way. Six balls coming off here. Just barely, too. Boy, these players have wiggled a couple balls in there. Can't tell if the 12 goes by the 8 or not. If it does, he'll probably shoot it to try and open up the 9 and 15. Looks like he's going to shoot the 3.
Yeah, he's grabbing the bridge, so he must be going for the 3 ball.
3 ball.
So
send the cue ball.
Stop for the 1 or roll forward for the 8?
Stop for the 12, I would think. Well, he didn't do that either. He's playing the 8 ball.
Yeah, he's going for the 8.
I wonder how he plans to break these balls.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit more angle than that.
I guess he did.
Looked
I
on
was looking for him to play position
the monitor.
12.
Well, this will give him a good chance to get up for the 5 if he wants to get rid of it.
What he did there was probably even better. Now he's got a break shot on the 9, and all the problems are solved.
Yeah,
He can get up for the 5 right now off the 1.
Yeah, that opened up everything. So at what point does he start planning out the last few shots for the break shot?
As soon as
Is
you're
it-
supposed to start doing that as soon as all the other balls are open, wherever in your sequence that happens to be.
So he should be in that mode right now.
Yeah, and he's obviously decided to leave the 5 before the 9. Most players would
Yeah.
strive to take the 5 off earlier in the rotation simply because it's the wrong half of the table. Nice angle on the 12 here. He can just come off one rail to get good position,
Yeah.
straight in position.
So he's
on the
trying for a
5.
straight in shot on the 5 ball.
Straight in on the 5. That time he used reverse English like he's supposed to. Use center ball here and a little bit of right to come off that side rail, get back towards the center of the table. That better? Okay. Making audio adjustments as we speak. Nicely played by Jeff Mohl. And that's another 14-ball run off a very casual statement by Ed Latimer. Jeff is still adjusting to the ragging ritual here. So that will bring Jeff Mohl up to, looks like 69 points. And his opponent at 15. Jeff has a little more. 80 to 15 is the score. Look, 70 to 15. Excuse me.
Or 25, I think.
No, it's not 25. It's 68 to 14 or 15. Good break shot here for Jeff.
okay.
This one you hit with follow and you expect to spread the balls. You've got to come through the balls with the cue ball here. Nope. These players are concentrating too much on things other than pocketing the ball.
Yeah.
Break shots like those have 3 requirements. They should only be focused on 2. The object balls, take care of yourself if you simply pocket the break shot and get the cue ball in the clear. You will hit the stack. This is the kind of layout that Ed Latimer frequently productive from. Probably looking for position on the 6 ball here. Came up a little bit short. Can still draw off this ball to get position on the 4 and then the 6 if he chooses. He can follow and go to the center of the table. The 5-8 looks like it might go. No, he's going to shoot the 6 ball. That's the ball he played position for, and that's the ball he's going to shoot.
He does like these thin cut shots. He's
Well, they do have their advantages. You don't have to hit them very hard, and the cue ball saves most of its energy for the stacked balls.
yeah.
Probably send the cue ball in between the 5 and 3. No, he's not going to. He's going to break them up one more time.
Well, it looks like all the balls are open now.
They're open, and
The 9 ball might be a good break shot.
apparently that's what he's going to save.
And,
He has to deal with the 10 and 7, although he can do that now.
and what is the key ball before the 9 ball?
Looks like it's going to be either the 12 or the 8. 10, 12, 8 here. 8 is not a terribly good key ball, but it's negotiable. They'll probably play this 12 as a stop shot, cut the 8 ball in thin, let the cue ball roll to the rail and back out to the side.
Yeah. So he wants to end up with the cue ball about where it is right now.
Yeah, or slightly farther up the table for a little better cut angle on the 8. I don't care
Yeah.
for playing the 8 first here. The 12 ball does get you a little better position on the 9, but yeah, I wouldn't have done it that way. But that's not neither here nor. This is going to work out well. The slight angle he left himself on the 12 means he can come forward towards center table,
Yeah.
and an advantageous angle on the 9. Probably have liked maybe one ball with less of an angle, but it won't stop him. Jeff Mohl pays for a badly botched break shot by turning the rack over to his opponent. That will bring Latimer to 29. 68 for his opponent. Once again, a good chance to contact the corner ball for Ed on this break shot. Always want to hit one of the 4 corner balls because each is free on one side, and that makes it easier to get your cue ball loose. Also, you exact the greatest impact on the stack that way. Play this with follow. Wouldn't be surprised to see him use a little more oomph here than he usually does.
He drew that one. Has a lot of distance now.
The European players on a shot like that will draw their cue ball all the way up to the head rail and back again.
Back to the middle of the table.
Yeah, and they're purists. It horrifies purists, but it seems to work. You have to be deadly accurate using that kind of speed. This is the aspect of Ed's game that could be a little stronger, is these long shots. The ball thought twice about going.
He 3-rail that one.
Yeah, nice bank shot.
Is he straight in on this ball?
Very close to it,
Yeah.
and what he should be doing is inspecting the clustered balls from the other side of the table. There he goes.
Yeah.
This is what you want to do, is walk around the table and see
See if the 7 ball goes.
if the 7 or 11 or 2 ball or
Yeah.
4 ball, looks like they all go. If he can get the cue ball over there, which he probably can do off the 8. He's going to get there off the 9, I guess.
Draw back for the 1 in the side. Or is that the 9?
That's the 9. I don't know if it's the 9 or the 1. I'm not sure what it is he wants next. I guess it's the 14. Doesn't even look like it goes from here. Or he could play the 4. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Cue ball will go into the 10 and 13 from here. Exactly as called. The bonus ball goes in. Those bonus balls are not particularly helpful. Most players would rather have the ball stand up there to be played position off of. But no harm done.
So he has to break out that 11 a little bit.
And he underhit
his
the
only
ball.
problem.
He underhit that ball rather badly. I'm not sure he can cut this ball anyway. He's probably going to have to bank. Yeah, he's going to have to bank this ball and get position on either the 14 or the ball immediately under it. And at that, he doesn't have a very good break shot. He doesn't have any break shots here. May manufacture one here.
Nothing but net on that bank shot.
Shoot the, well, fairly easy bank. Shoot the 15 and let the cue ball guide the 14 out to the, or that's the 10, to the other side.
Yeah.
He may have gotten it far enough.
Yeah,
It's awfully close.
That looks close, yeah.
May want to nudge it out a little farther than that. No, he's not even going to leave it there. Looks like he's going to leave the 12.
The 12 in the side?
No, in the corner. No,
Okay.
So that's a little high, unless he plans to roll it over here. Nope. So a run of 28 balls for Ed Latimer following that botched break shot by his opponent. That brings his total to 43, I believe. So he's down 25 points. Well, it's better than being down 50.
Oh, 53. That's what he has.
Well,
He has 39 right now.
He has 39, and oh, that's right. Okay, so his total goes to 53. He's only a rack in arrears. He was down 40 balls, but that's how quickly this game can turn around.
There's actually a lot of equipment from where we're sitting and where the beads are, so it's a little
68 to 53 appears to be the score.
yeah. So it's a little hard for us to actually see the score here.
Latimer gets a tie game with the completion of this rack, and he certainly has a good break shot to start with. Because of the thinness of the cut, he won't have to hit it very hard. Cue ball will go right into the 7. Undercut it badly,
Yeah.
so the cue ball missed the stack. Jeff could try and break the balls here, but I think he's going to play this ball on the side and call it safety.
Leave the cue ball on the Brunswick.
Leave the cue ball. Well, it's not on the Brunswick down there. It's on the scorers, but that's the general idea.
What would be the Brunswick?
I don't think he's going to try and do a 1 or 2 rail break shot here. Too risky. And Jeff Mohl chooses discretion over valor. Pocketing the head ball that way discourages the usual safety into the top of the stack. It's not nearly as easy with 15 balls as it is with 14. Ed's going to go behind the stack here, most likely to take a foul. And that was not particularly well done. Corner ball came out, and the ball came out at the head of the rack. If you're going to do that, get the cue ball to the center of that back row where it can't possibly come back and leave you an open ball like this. How much hay Jeff can make with this ball remains to be seen, but at least he's got a start. It's awful close. Cue ball and object ball are awfully close together for him to use follow here, and follow is what he needs. Nope. Not sure what he wanted with that one anyway. Well, he played position for the 14 on the side, which would have been a decent break shot, not a great one.
Yeah.
Left it for his opponent instead. If there's room to go by
Well,
the
he's
12.
lining it up, so it must be close.
Close is what it is, and if he plays that 13 ball first, there are no ready break shots down here for him to come back to. But he's considering the value of that 14 right now and what kind of impact it's going to have on the still clustered balls. Looks like he's going to take the long
Looks like
shot.
he's
Long shot first.
trying to get the cue ball over on the right-hand side of the stack.
No, he's coming back on the left-hand side.
He's trying to come back.
That's bewildering to me. There's an easy safety from here. That one.
Yep. That's what he was playing for, I guess.
Jeff should find a way to get to the top rail from here because nothing is open down here. If he can get to the top rail without disturbing the balls much, that would be the ideal response.
Yeah, Jeff will probably look at that 5 ball to make sure it's not frozen or something.
The 9 ball goes to the bottom left, so he can't leave the cue ball in the right-hand half of the table. Looks like he's going to try and skim the 4 and leave the cue ball long. He left it out from the rack, and it doesn't look like he's going to get to the rail. Nope, that's a foul. Latimer can either...
It's probably close enough to that cushion to make that cut shot difficult.
Oh, make the cut shot far more tough than he wants right now. He's almost certainly going to return this foul.
Yeah.
Maybe even try and pocket hook him down there with the pocket jaw on the long rail.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get there. But nothing can be made from here. Jeff's best bet from here. First of all, he should take a second intentional foul, and then he should try and thin the 4. Very few of these players are aware enough to take an intentional second foul. We saw it in the Karabatsis match.
He's
Jeff
playing
tried the carom.
Playing a carom shot. Yeah.
All he really left was a 6 on the side. Or the 14-5 combination. That was a pretty long shot to take there. I would have looked for something a little more discreet. Secret in playing that carom, incidentally, is you want your object ball to come off the bottom 2 balls in rapid succession. First the ball above the corner ball, then the corner ball.
Oh,
That gets you the angle going towards the pocket. He's going to play the 14-5. Ooh! Just barely made that one.
yeah.
Would appear we're going to have a tie game at the conclusion of this particular rack. I expect Latimer to run these balls. Where'd he go? Did he leave? Let's see him. Oh, he's over by the counter there, sleeping.
Yeah, he was asleep before.
He can sleep anywhere, in any position, at any time. I never saw anything like it. Couch, chair, car, it doesn't make any difference.
I've seen him sleep in between innings before.
Yeah, that's been done too. No further problems for Ed Latimer here. He did his homework good and early in this particular frame, although he benefited from an extremely casual try by his opponent. Pockets are being very cooperative here.
Well, he still has a choice of break shots here, it appears.
3, 6, 11, they're all good ones. We'll use the 9 to get on the 2 and 11 here. That shot is what's known as a pinch. Use right-hand spin to send the object ball to the left.
That lets you hit it a little bit stiffer than
That lets you hit
normal.
a little more full,
A little more full.
which in turn helps you hold the cue ball
slows
better.
down the cue ball.
That shot lacked greatness. It really did. He wanted to leave himself the 11 ball. Now he's going to have to play position for the 7. Not sure the 11's out of the rack. That particular shot was played somewhat casually. He's going to come around here, try and get an advantageous angle on the 11. He has his choice here, going 1 rail with left-hand spin or 2 rails with right. He's picking up the bridge. Looks like he's going to go 2 rails to the right. Odd that he selected the left-hand portion of the bridge for this. But 2 rails to the right is called, and it looks like he underhit it a little bit. Going to have to go off the rail. But that's the last 3 racks to Ed Latimer. And we now have very close to a tie game. So it's 67 to 65.
Yep. he's 66.
It's hard to see from here. I
Yeah.
think there are 2 beads after that, after
Yeah, I
the
think
brown,
he's-
the brown one. No,
Yeah, I think he's starting at 52.
67, and he started at 51, so I think it's 67, 65 now. No, 67, 66. One ball difference. Does not have a particularly good, in fact, he has a lousy break shot here, but he may be able to bring it off. Difficult control because when the cue ball comes off the rail, it has to strike one of the corner balls to do him any good. That's a look out now. Looks like bad luck, but that scratch does exist. Has for some time now. I think we'll see Jeff try and play the ball to our left and get position on the 12, if the 12 still goes now that that ball is respotted. Can't tell from here if it does or not. Jeff will have to
Yeah.
look at that.
It looks
If
close.
it weren't for that ball, the 12 would have been a good break shot. Now
Yeah.
he's going to have to change his strategy. Jeff is looking to the rack for gifts. Doesn't appear as though he was left with any. Caught a bad break in that the 7 ball had to be respotted, but at least he's back at the table. I can't tell if the 12 passes the 7 or not, but looks like Jeff is going to do something similar to what I described. Ick. Missed the ball by a foot. And Jeff has spent the last 3 or 4 innings in the doldrums after getting out to a good lead. Will not be easy for Ed Latimer to break these balls. I wasn't looking for him to do that, and that's exactly why.
Well,
Up and down the table is a giant risk because it's virtually impossible to control the cue ball.
and he's on 2 fouls now, right?
That's right.
If,
Don't know if Jeff warned him of
Jeff
that or
may not
not, but
remember
he may
that.
not have to until he gets to the table the next time. And as you say, Jeff may not remember. But now he can play position from the 9 to the 10 and get a break shot.
so 9 in the corner, or 10
9 in the corner.
side?
No, 9 in the corner, 10 in the other corner.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the other ball.
That's how I'd play it.
Yeah.
Not that that means anything. Simple stop shot. And Jeff chooses again to roll the ball. Cost him his angle on the 10. I'd have played that as a stop shot myself. He can use this ball to play position on the 6 if he likes.
Yeah, the 6 would be a good break shot too.
That was nicely done. Now he's got the
Yeah, he's
angle
got
on the
it.
10 that he wants. Looks like he's looking at the 4 though.
Now he's got a stop shot.
Stop shot, stop on the 10, play the 6 is what I would opt for.
Yeah.
Problem with the 6 is that the 2 ball is going to absorb a lot of the cue ball's energy on the way to the stacked balls. I don't see any other break shot options for him, though, at least not now. I wouldn't want to see him try and use the 7 for a break shot.
Yeah, the cue ball does seem to get tied up when you come into the back of those stacks like that.
It's the fattest part of the stack, so in terms of physics, you've left yourself more work to do.
Yeah. So he has kind of a choice here of trying to power through with top spin,
If
or
he
trying
shoots,
to.
if he shoots the 6, the first ball contacted will be the 2.
It's going to be the 2.
So the 2 ball would have to do the break shot work for him. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I hope he's not going to use this for a break shot. that's about what he could have, the best he could have hoped for, is he had another ball loose and a ball to shoot with. He can use the 4 for a break shot here, or he can play position for the 3. Not a particularly good break shot, but considering there's only one other ball in the open, you might want to think about it. Boy, some of these pockets are producing photo finish shots. Okay, 3 balls still clustered. Good angle on the 15. Wow. Now he could use draw off that 14 ball on the bottom rail to separate that 3 ball cluster, and the 6 and the
he
1
has
would
the 6 ball.
6 and 1 would be his insurance shots. Maybe if he hits it at the right speed, one of those 3 clustered balls would be a break shot for him next time too. A little too hard. Good. I mean, the balls
got a
are
good
open.
scatter,
Balls
so-
are open. Got a good scatter. He can use the 8 ball. It looks like it's a little low, and the 2 balls a little high, but there are key balls to go with each of them. Well, the
One
8
ball might be a good
balls,
break shot.
1 ball's kind of low too. The 8 ball's coming off the table here. Okay. He'd rather not be right on top of that 15, but he can get around it pretty easily.
Well, here goes the 1 ball, it looks like.
I'm more enthusiastic about break shots like the 2 ball than a lot of players. I believe that distance between your break ball and the stack is not a bad thing. He also has the option of bunting the 13 into break ball position here. That's what he tried to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Left it a little low, but he could still work with it if he wanted to. Problem now is that the 12 ball doesn't get by the 3. So yeah, you'd have to play the 3 and then the 12 to get his break shot position. Left himself an angle on the 2 ball, and he can do that. Or he could play position for the 12 in the corner if it goes there, and then the 3 in the side for last. The 12 goes in the corner, and I can't tell from here if it does, and this shot should be played with low right. He didn't play it that way, so he's got another plan.
Oh, he's going to play a side pocket break, isn't he?
He could if he wanted to, or he could come back to the center of the table and play this in the same pocket where he's playing the 3. Looks like he's going to play for a side pocket, though.
Yeah.
Right hand spin. Just right. Challenge here is to hit the top 2 balls instead of the balls immediately behind them. So Jeff regains 1 of the 3 racks he lost and scoots out ahead by just about that many points. And that will bring him into the low 80s. And his opponent is on 2 scratches if he chooses to remember that. Actually, if he gets this rack, he only needs 4 more points to win the match.
He's at 81 right now.
Is that 1 or 2? Can't really tell.
I think it's 81.
Yeah, I think it's 81.
Yeah.
Appears to be, the score appears to be 81 to 65. This is a nice break shot, but as I say, it's paramount that he contact the top 2 balls. That was the favorite break shot of the famous Ralph Greenleaf, sober or otherwise. Loved to send a ball into the side pocket.
I think he hit that second ball pretty solid. The cue ball didn't
You know,
move very
that-
far
that-
afterwards.
well, cue ball didn't move very far, and look at all the balls that splashed out. So that was nicely played. 12. He wants the 12 ball off the table early, and that's correct. He should. He can use the 14 as a break shot. It's not my very favorite, but it's there. Looks like he's going to take the 10 first. Now he can play position for the 4 if the
Comes
4
out
goes.
for the 4 to break out the 5 and the 7.
No, just play the 4 to break out the 4 balls immediately above
Oh,
it. The
the other-
5-7 can be made here or there.
Okay.
5-7 combination goes here, and the 2 balls can be made there. He could do it your way too, but
Well,
that's what I'd have done.
He got pretty straight on it.
And that's no great advantage. Straight shots are not the advantage you think they are in straight
Yeah.
pool, because unless you go to a rail, your cue ball has to wind up on that same line. Now he can use the 7 to
had
break the cluster, so
A
that
little
was
bit of
well
an
played.
angle. Yeah, a little bit of an angle.
The 1-2 will still have to be dealt with, although it exists as a combination shot for sure. You could play the cue ball into the 8 here and save the 6 or the 5. That's what I'd do anyway.
Yeah, he could shoot the 5 and the 7 and the 13 if he.
He's just going to use
he's
the
got an
7
angle.
ball for the break shot.
Yeah, he's got the angle.
7 ball goes into the 3 and 13. Still leaves him with modest problem unless the cue ball clears for the 6. That's what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Hope the cue ball can see the 3. See, it's not enough to gauge that your cue ball will go into the stack. You want to know where in the stack it's going to go in, and where after that if you can get a fix on
Whether
that.
the cue ball gets free.
Simply determining that it's going to go into the mass balls, you haven't done all your homework yet. That looks good. Ooh, it did.
It dropped. It scores.
Another bank shot. Again, that's a function of correct pocket speed. Now, the 11 and 8 are hampered by the 6 ball, illustrating the importance of opening up paths to the corner pockets early. You can get position on the 12 to break them, but it's too big a variable with this few balls left on the table, and the 13 ball should definitely come off now. He's not going to like this. He'll probably get the 2 up in the corner, which isn't bad, but that ball up at the top right hand should have come off earlier in the sequence than this. I'm not sure the cue ball can get to the 11 from where he is. He left himself a pretty shallow angle at the 6. We'll see.
Well, he'll probably roll toward that 13 on this shot.
Well, he got the 11 open, which is important. Now, consider the problems that the 13 ball offers him now, as opposed to had he shot it earlier with all those options coming back the other way. He's going to use the 15 to get to the 13, I suppose. I wouldn't want to see him save the 13 for last. 13 should really come off now. Left-hand English and 3-rail position to the center of the table. Not going to do that, so... A lot of players will play the 13 here, bring the cue ball to the center of the table and put the 8 ball in either corner with two rail position. You can't get too straight on this. That's pretty good because he can get back to the center of the table using right-hand draw. He could use left-hand follow if he preferred. Either 1 rail or 3 rail position. He's stretched out, which is never any good. And that's what he pays for, is he gets a steeper angle on the break shot than he really needs. He only needs 5 balls to win the match.
the cue ball's on the cushion.
Yeah, had he used the bridge, he probably would have been nearer the center of the table. But these games, when you approach the 90s, the pressure builds, and speed off a rail like that, it can be very difficult to gauge. That's why I didn't want to see him leave that ball for last. Plays it sooner in the rack, he has more options to play next. Jeff Mohl goes to, yes. I imagine there'll be a natural one before they begin the next match.
I mean, let Lou come in. You know,
Oh, sure.
Time off.
If others want to do a game, that seems only fair. I don't mean to hog the microphone.
No, hogging is wonderful, actually. It's just I don't want to, beat you out.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Score is 95-60, and even though Jeff Mohl is within 5 balls a game, I really can't recommend shooting this break shot.
So you would recommend the safety here?
Absolutely. If the cue ball were anywhere but frozen on the rail, I might fire at it. And I can't tell. Looks like he's going to shoot it. And he's looking at the angle.
Yeah, he's lining it up, so he's going for it.
He's thinking about it is what he's doing, and the longer he thinks, the harder he makes it on himself. If you're going to shoot this, you get down and fire it. You study it and agonize. I don't know. The advantage is he doesn't have to hit it very hard. And that's the risk. And only 4 balls came out, so Latimer has work to do. Didn't have to go for it. I wouldn't have. So Jeff needs 5 and his opponent needs 40. Gonna have to get inventive with a break shot here. Might see the balls partially opened right here, either using the 4-14 or the 8 ball. He's gonna drill this. Now the stacked balls are reduced to 5. He could go into him now with draw if he wanted to, but he does have other options. Did not particularly want to be straight on the 9 ball, but that's where he wound up. You need angles to break balls. Could have used the 9 as a break shot had he gone maybe another 2 ball widths up the table.
Well, you could do it with the 10 also.
He's too straight in on the 10.
Yeah, he didn't do that either.
He's going to go 5-15, 10-13, I think. Being on 2 scratches did not come into play. I don't think Jeff reminded him he was on 2 scratches, but it wasn't necessary anyway. And once again, a nonchalant break shots. 3 balls in the open. Jeff should win the game here.
No, that's right. Instead of taking that difficult break shot, he could have taken an intentional foul there if he wanted to.
It wasn't that difficult a shot that he missed. Jeff can make that ball on the side. The cue ball comes straight down the middle of the table, separates the remaining clustered balls, and game is over. But as we've seen, coming down into the stack from on top carries its risks. And this shot into the side is not that easy. He may go for the 4 ball first. Save the, I guess that's the 10 for a break ball. Either the 10 or the 12. It's hard to see with the lights on the balls from here.
I think it's the 12.
Okay. Good start. Now he's got a slightly less severe side pocket angle. He can't save the 12 as a break shot from here, so he might as well break with this. It's the game right here if he makes this. should be anyway.
He needs 4 from here, right?
Yeah, but he's going to separate the remaining clustered balls with this. Look out. Ay, ay, ay. Well, I seem to be prognosticating these scratches reasonably well.
Yeah.
I'd rather not. And now a ball comes back up because he pocketed one. So Ed will begin with either the 3 or 9, I would think.
He's at 72, I believe.
72 is right. He needs 2 racks to win. Reed for 6 here and then a rack and a half. He's going to open up with the 9, I'm sure. Nicely done.
Another situation where the
Bonus ball did not help him.
7 ball had stayed
Yeah,
out.
if that ball had hung up, he'd be in way better shape than he is now. I mean, this is negotiable, but now he's got to get to the other side of the table for the 2 and 6. You can see him shaking his head there. That second ball was not expected to fall.
It's like he's straight in on the 3 ball. So all he
It
can
looks
do
like
is
he's straight in, almost straight in on either of those 2 top balls.
forward or back are the only options he has.
Well, he can force the ball over from here to the other side of the 2 and 6, just like that. Whoa! And there's just enough left for Jeff to win. He needs these 4 balls. Well, there's 5 on the table, of which he needs 4. Or maybe, I guess he needs all 5.
Well, there's an extra bead. I think he just needs 4.
Oh, okay, well, all right, the score shows 95. But there are 5 on the table, and there's really no excuse for not getting these balls. If I were he, I'd leave this ball for last. And you can do that. Better hope it stops nicely for you. That was very, very benign. Could have been a lot worse. Okay. Once again, Jeff hopes for a nice place to stop. I think the move here, he doesn't want to play that 3. The move here is to play the 2 with draw, I would think, for the 3 next and come down for the rail ball last. He looks like he's going to play it with follow for the rail ball next. 50-yard line.
Overrun position just a little bit.
Halfway in between 2 desirable alternatives. He can make either ball, but neither one leads directly to the other. It's probably best off trying to cut this rail ball in and going up to the top rail and come back towards the middle for the 3. It's going to be hard for him to get position for the rail ball here. He's got to draw and hit the shot with more speed than he'd like to. Maybe a little left. That's just the pitfall. Now he's left a break shot. So Jeff needs 2. And Ed needs 26.
So in this shot, do you try and stop the cue ball in the rack, or do you roll past it?
Can't. The
and try to get the
angle's
angle?
too acute to stop in the rack, I would think. And what he's looking at now is when the cue ball comes off the bottom rail, will it be on a tangent to run into the 3 or get past the 3? And now he doesn't have a real good break shot here. It's a break shot. Play it with draw and hope to clip the top 2 balls, but it's not a great break shot. Jeff flirted with those uncertain landing points for the cue ball one time too many in that last inning. He should have been out. Now he has to sweat this out. And it's going to be a grind out here because Ed Latimer is not going to break out too many balls with this break shot. Can be played with either inside or outside draw. But He doesn't have a lot of angle. The cue ball is very close to the stack, and he can't count on driving a lot of balls into the clear. He has 25. He needs 25, and his opponent needs 2.
I think he needs 1 because there's an extra bead.
Oh, an extra bead? Well, in any case, he dasn't miss, as the old timers used to say. Stopped it just right to get that head ball out near the center of the table for the side next. He doesn't. His layout following that is not exactly sumptuous, but at least he's still at the table. Appears to be almost straight in on this, and there's nothing down here of any great advantage. He'll probably shoot the 4 next. Bring the cue ball from the bottom rail into the stack and save these two bottom balls, the 15 and the 2. Oh, he's got the 10. Didn't realize the 10 went past the 1. That was a risk. He's going to have to make the 13-12 combination. Unless the 8 goes in the side, and I can't tell from here.
Yeah, it looks like he has a difficult shot, no matter.
The 13-12 is no bargain from where he is. He's too close to the 13. It's as though the edge of the 13 interferes with where he needs to get to make that combination shot. He's looking at the 8 as though it goes. I'm not sure if it does or not. There's a bank shot on the 5. He certainly doesn't want that. I don't see any options here except...
Maybe you could freeze the cue ball.
I was going to
6.
say, if he can get to the 8 cleanly, he could play a safety with it and do what you just said.
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to play the 13-12. Which he can't conveniently reach. That's what he's looking at. Cue ball will obviously run into the 5 here. He re-aims. Second ball into the 1st. Cue ball into the 2nd. It's still not easy. A little more distance between the cue ball and the 13 would make it vastly easier. This is played with right-hand draw. Missed it by a foot. That should do it. Whether he needs 1 or 2 hardly matters.
I think it's 1.
Thinks there's an extra bead
There's
somewhere.
An extra bead on oh, they didn't do anything with that, they were bad?
It doesn't matter. If he makes 1, he'll make 2.
Yeah, count the number of beads between 40 and 45.
I know. There's an extra.
There's 6 beads in there.
A lot of times they make an adjustment while
Ooh. Boy, these players have taken their chances with the pocket jaws. I don't know where he thinks the cue ball's going here. I'd shoot the 13 if it were available to me.
I don't think he needs another ball, but he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't know
He doesn't
that.
seem to know. I hope he doesn't go in the side. Look out! All right, that was close. So Jeff Mohl gets through a close match, beats a tough opponent, Ned Latimer, leaving himself in good position for the rest of the tournament. And we'll be back with our next match soon.
Tom